Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Multifamily Investing with Charles Dobbins, the multifamily attorney. I have a very special guest here today, and this woman is pretty impressive. Her name is Ellie Perlman. She's a founder and CEO of Blue Lake Capital, real estate investing firm specializing in multifamily investments. She started her career as a commercial real estate lawyer. She's leading commercial real estate transactions for Israel's largest developer. She also got then on the property management side. That's when she started to get her hands really dirty. And she's overseen properties worth over $100 million. She has her MBA from MIT, so she's a Boston girl. We'll welcome her into the fold. She's got a podcast that I recommend everybody favorite on their podcast service. That really happened, which is a play on her name Ellie, and it's all about unbelievable real estate stories. So, in addition to talking to us today about raising capital and syndicating deals, I think Ellie and I can play a game called "Oh Yeah," where she tells me an unbelievable story, and I say, "Oh yeah, well I can top that one. Watch this." So, welcome Ellie to my podcast.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here today.
What do you think about what's going on in this market right now?
What do I think about what's going on in the market? I can tell you I'm not very educated when it comes to office and retail.
Right.
I can't talk about that. I can tell you from a multifamily point of view.
Yeah, that's all I want to hear.
Yeah. So I don't know if we're at the peak of the market. It's always, hindsight. I see a lot of deals, most deals actually that are traded above what they should be, traded. So a lot of investors are overpaying for deals. Yeah. That's the main issue. So even though you see a slowdown when it comes to financing, when it comes to, increase in interest rates. And then on the other hand, you see rent is still growing, but at a smaller pace. You see a slowdown in rent growth, then it should have led to, a decrease in prices, but that didn't really happen. So what I see is that I see fewer buyers on each deal, but the prices are still there. So what happened, in my opinion, is that some buyers, and I see it around me, decided either to stop buying multifamily altogether, or in extreme cases get out of real estate. But also, but those who stay didn't really change their course of action. So they're still willing to overpay. And right now, it seems like everyone is doing great. There's still rent growth, the returns, we're still on track, but I'm worried what's going to happen a year from now, 6 months from now, 2 years from now. So if you're not conservative, and if you're not sticking to your criteria and to your underwriting assumptions, then you might be doing well now, but fast forward several months from now, things are going to change. And I think we're going to see that. I don't know when, but we're probably going to see it soon.
Yeah. Listen, I could not agree with you more on almost everything you said. And let me just add a little color to it. The getting back to the discussion of markets, I wouldn't touch a primary market in a million years. The numbers just don't make sense. I think a lot of this, there's so much money sitting on the sidelines looking for a place to be employed, right, that they're willing to overpay, because they've got to put that money to work, and they think the rents are just going to continue to go up, and therefore it's going to justify the price, and that's a recipe for disaster. I've already lived through that cycle once. And then the secondary and the tertiary markets are where the deals are going to be had, because you're not necessarily dealing with these big, deep pocket institutional investors. You're dealing with people who still have to, they can't overpay for property. And I teach all my students, and the biggest mistake you can make in this business is overpaying for property. You might as well just go drop your keys on the bank's desk and walk away, because you're not going to make it back. There's a particular guru out there that says you can overpay for multifamily property because the prices will just continue to go up. And I got to tell you something, Ellie, that guy should be about 8 years old, because I used to own property and that price never came back, and I had to give it back to the bank when it was all said and done, because the crash brought the values down so much. So You are absolutely right. And I do think that there are going to be opportunities out in the secondary and the tertiary market. They're still going to exist there. And once again, these big institutional investors are going to take a bath, and we're going to have to be bailing these guys out,
Yeah.
when they, too big to fail situations. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I really appreciate you saying that. I don't think I got a straight answer from the last guy, but I think you're telling it like it is.